Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is Ewa. That's beautiful. Let's get it. This is the That's Beautiful podcast. Let's get it. Without further ado, you guys know what it is. It's the That's Beautiful podcast. As always, I'm your host, Dylan Leston, or Dill Leston for those of you that have been watching for a while. So, this episode is brought to you by Dynasty Media Productions. Just wanted to get on here real quick and give you a direction of where we're going with Dynasty Media Productions, and that is true, authentic analysis, breakdown of sports, and all things good in life, and this and that. Because you look at ESPN, you watch ESPN these days, there's one take. No debating, no opposing viewpoints, one take, one right answer, and that's it. And what ESPN has become is very sad, because it used to be a lot of actual ball knowledge breaking down sports and discussing why their take is better than this take or how their take is better. Now it's one take. SGA's MVP or LeBron's the best player ever. There's no differing views. There's no differing like that. So what I'm trying to get on here and do is get a bunch of people, like-minded individuals that love talking sports like me and love having debate and analysis about things, and be the new age of sports broadcasting and sports media. It doesn't have to be on TV, YouTube. This is the way of the future. TikTok, this is the way of the future. Let's get it. This is the That's Beautiful podcast. Today's episode is Spend the Morning with Dill. So Mornings with Dill is going to be a segment we're going to do, and I'm just going to talk sports. Appreciate everyone being here. Again, this episode is brought to you by Dynasty, the best lifestyle clothing brand in the world, and God bless everyone. So, without further ado, let's get it. I want to kick this episode off by talking about the Masters. So, for those of you who don't know, the Masters is one of the four majors in golf every single year. It's the start of the year. The Masters is a stay-hold, has been a stay-hold for the last 97 years. I think they said they were on year 97. Happens in Augusta, Georgia, of course, Augusta National Golf Course. Rory McIlroy won the tournament this year, which was a back-to-back winner for the first time since Tiger Woods in 01-02. The other two back-to-back winners are Sir Nick Faldo and Jack Nicklaus. So Rory's joining an exclusive club right there, which I think is really awesome for his career and just where he's become, what he has become. Because if you don't remember Rory McIlroy, probably about 15, 16 years ago, when he first started his career, he started off really hot, was winning a lot of majors, was that it kid that was winning all the tournaments, and then kind of hit a lapse and a lull in his career and didn't win a lot of majors for a while. And people are like, oh, what happened to this kid that's supposed to be better than this Tiger Woods guy, or at least match Tiger Woods' skill level? And everyone knows that was going to be a delusional take anyway. He was never going to match what Tiger Woods did and Tiger Woods' pure dominance, because what Tiger did we will probably never see again, just because of the fame that Tiger has brought golf. Because of Tiger being in golf and making golf quote-unquote cool, everyone got into golf. So there in turn more great athletes got into golf, and it's going to be a harder pool every time. Tiger wasn't versing dudes like Scottie Scheffler, and, you know, of course, he was versing Rory, but not this Rory, and just the consistency, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks, how far these dudes can hit it, how well they can hit it. It's going to be tough to ever see this dominant run again, but just want to give Rory his flowers, because for you not to win for 17 years, then win back-to-back, it's a crazy thing how life works out, but that proves that never give up, man, because you never know when it's your turn. It might be teaching you patience right now this season, but eventually you'll get to where you need to go. So Rory went in he won at 12 under in the Masters tournament. Scottie Scheffler came in second, 11 under. Scottie Scheffler had an opportunity there to really win that tournament on the weekend, because first 2 days Scottie was kind of playing very mid-level, and then the second 2 days Scottie Scheffler shot 12 under. I think Saturday he shot 7 under, and then Sunday he shot 5 under. Or 4 under, sorry, because he wanted to get to that. He missed the big birdie putt on 17 to get to that 12 under that I think he needed to get to for him and Rory to get in the playoff. And if they went to the playoff, I don't know what would have happened. I think Scottie Scheffler's that guy where it would have been a lot of pressure on Rory, but Rory also has now the pedigree and the wherewithal at the Augusta National to make things happen. So really proud of what Rory did and accomplished, and congrats to him and his family as well, and just his team. So Rory, congratulations on winning the Masters. We have the next major we have up, I think, is the PGA Championship, which is going to be a battle. Don't really know who's going to bid. Of course, Scottie Scheffler is going to be a favorite there, but when the time gets closer, we will talk about the PGA Championship. Just want to talk about the Masters. Cam Young had a good opportunity there, kind of squandered away. Had a 2-shot lead going into, I think, hole 10. Kind of squandered away. He'll be back. Young kid, hasn't won a major yet, but has won some tournaments in the golf world. So going to be a good opportunity for him to sit down, learn what he did wrong, and see how he can improve going forward. Haotong Li, unfortunately, was Scotty Scheffler's partner in the tournament. He shot a quintuple bogey, and then he shot a triple bogey, which is never before seen. But if that doesn't teach you guys anything, one of us, Grupo Gapo, one of us. They're one of us. These golfers, they do exactly what we do. That's why we love the sport so much. I argue it's the most fun, frustrating sport in the world. And that's what it is. So congrats to them. Congrats to the winner, Rory McIlroy, of course, winning back-to-back green jackets. Nothing but success for you, brother, and continue the good work and to do your will. So without further ado there, let's hop into the big world, which is the NBA. And everyone's talking about the NBA MVP race. For those of you who don't know, I posted a video a few days ago about why Jokic should be the MVP in a serious league, a league that's serious. The NBA is not serious anymore because the NBA has fallen suit to ESPN's media trap of, nope, SGA is the MVP, no one else. SGA is the hero. And again, don't know where this is coming from, to say the truth, but if this doesn't prove that if the media is on your side, you can do anything in the world and take over the world, because that's how hive-brained people are and hive-minded. They don't want to think about anything else. But at least I do see everyone on the internet that's not, quote-unquote, getting paid to do this sports talk, knows Jokic is the MVP. Everyone that has a brain, everyone that watches basketball knows that Jokic is the MVP. In a serious league, Jokic is the MVP. Not even a question. Leads the league in rebounds and assists as a center. Highest plus-minus in history. Highest PER in history, guys. This isn't some scrub playing basketball, man. This isn't some scrub down the street. This isn't your local YMCA basketball player. I get we hate him because he's not flashy. He's very flashy. He's not going to dunk on you. Oh, no. Is that all basketball is these days? How cool I could do a 360 windmill dunk? Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Has been the best player in the NBA for the last 6 years. He should have 6 straight MVPs, counting this year. If it was a serious league, he would have 6 straight MVPs. Then they gave it to pity MVP to Joel Embiid, who hasn't played a full season since he won MVP. He didn't even play a full season that year. He just cried to the media like all of them and got his MVP, because that's what you do. You cry to the media, you get an MVP. So maybe me crying on here will get an MVP. But going back to Jokic, he's 8th in points. So 8th in points, 1st in rebounds, 1st in assists. As a center, if you give Jokic the amount of free throws Shai shoots a game, he's averaging more points, points, rebounds, and assists than Shai. So a center averaging more assists than a point guard isn't good. I don't know what happened in this league. And that's no disrespect to Shai, man. Shai's a great basketball player when he doesn't foul bait the whole game. I'm telling you what, Shai is one of the best basketball players I've seen when he's not trying to get the refs to call fouls on him. And the crazy thing about it is, the Thunder, number 1 in defensive efficiency. You want to know why they're number 1 in defensive efficiency? Because they can foul more than any other team. No. Watch the games without bias to a team and tell me they're not getting away with being more physical on the defensive end. They are, 100%, and that's why they're good at defense. So, in a serious league, and it doesn't even have to be Jokic. I mean, that's a serious league that Jokic would be MVP. Luka has a much better body of work, and Wemby. I'm not sure where this Shai hype is. You put any other top 10 guard in the league on the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're still 1 seed in the West. It's not even changing. There's no drop-off at all. You let Jalen Williams, Shai's second option, touch the ball and shoot as much as Shai does and get the free throws he does, he's doing exactly what Shai's doing. And maybe I'm wrong. But I'm here to talk about why I'm right. Because Jokic is the best player. And people will argue, his defense. Has one of the highest steals percentage as a center ever and as a defense player. So I'm sorry he doesn't get blocks. Oh, he got a cool block that swatted. Doesn't even mean it's a change of possession. Steal means it's a change of possession, which means his team's getting the ball. A block doesn't mean anything. It would just look cool. So I'm sorry that Jokic isn't cool and flashy by ESPN standards or by these voter standards. He's one of the best players ever. I know. He's top 10 for me. He should be top 10 for anyone that knows ball because he's that good of a player. He's that impactful. I've seen some people say his stats don't equate to wins. That's delusional, by the way. That's absolutely delusional because he has the highest plus-minus ever. That means he's better. His team is better when he's on the floor than when he's off. I know it's hard to understand, guys, and they're like, oh, that doesn't matter. No, that matters. Is he better with him on or off the floor? That's all that matters. I don't care what else he says. He's better. So Jokic should be the MVP. If he doesn't win MVP, I think it's going to piss him off even more, and he's going to go get that NBA Finals and that Finals MVP. We will see. He has Jamal Murray, of course, his right-hand man. Aaron Gordon has become such a great player. And then, all the other guys, Cam Johnson around them. Christian Brown, Bruce Brown. I don't know how it's Christian Brown, by the way. It's crazy to me that that's how it is. But, Nuggets got a great team. So, Jokic should be MVP. If you guys want me to keep going on the Jokic thing, I could talk about it for hours. But I want to get on here and talk about, again, the NBA playoffs, where I think it's going to go. Of course, we'll talk about some draft, and then I also want to shout out DU Hockey. But that's later in the episode. So let's start off with the NBA playoffs. And, of course, the NBA playoffs start with the play-in. Not a huge fan of the play-in, to tell you the truth. I think it's just a waste of games and a waste of time. But, hey, let's let 20 of the 30 teams in the NBA make the playoffs. Like, okay, there's not really an incentive to be that great. You could be pretty shitty and make the playoffs. But, hey, man, we'll see. So, play-in tournament today starts. We got Hornets versus Heat. So, the Hornets are number 9. The Heat are number 10 seed. I'm going to go with the Hornets in this game. I really like the Hornets. I like what the Hornets have been doing. They finally got, I think, their leader that they need on their team. LaMelo Ball, an amazing player, but I don't think he wants to take that leadership role as much as he probably should. But some people are just, they lead their certain way, they play their certain way, and that's respect. So Con Knipple coming onto that team, I think, has really changed the whole dynamic of that Hornets team. I think they have belief in themselves that they can be the best team in the league. And again, they're not the best team in the league right now, but I'm saying in the future they can get to that point where they're really good and competitive with, the Pistons, the Knicks, the Celtics in that hierarchy of battling teams. So I'm going to go with the Hornets tonight. I just think they're the better team overall. Bam Adebayo had, of course, the 83-point game this year, which was insane. But the Heat, I just think, are going to be outmatched. And maybe I'm wrong, because the Heat are the play-in GOATs. They seem to always win the play-in. But to be fair, the last 7 years they played the Bulls in the play-in, and we know how the Bulls are. As much as I love the Bulls, that's my hometown. But, man, the Bulls are tough. So, and then on the west side, we got the Clippers. We got the Suns and the Trailblazers. And I think the Suns are going to win this game here. I don't really know a lot about either team, to tell you the truth. I don't watch a lot of Suns basketball. Of course, I know Devin Booker's still there. And then on the Trailblazers side, I know they got the whole thing with Chauncey, the gambling situation. And then they got Denny Avdija, who's hooping, actually. I know he was drafted to the Wizards, I want to say, a few years back. And kind of just got lost in the sauce, and now he's really hooping and becoming a really good player. So on that side, I think the Suns are going to win that as well. So that would lead to the 76ers and Magic as well in the play-in, and then the Clippers and the Warriors. And, I think the Clippers get the win in the other matchup. I just think the Warriors are kind of batting and beating team this year. I think they need to revamp. As much as Steph Curry is an all-timer, I just think that they've run their course. Draymond's getting old, and some of the decisions they've made, at least on the front office side of things, are questionable. They could have had the opportunity to draft LaMelo Ball. They went with James Wiseman. Don't know. Is James Wiseman even in the NBA anymore? I actually don't know. So that proves that. They missed there. Could have had LaMelo Ball. I think LaMelo aging under Steph Curry. Steph Curry giving him that leadership and that veteran, role would have been great. But it's working out for LaMelo in Charlotte, and it's great because I like the Hornets. They're always kind of a team that's not good, so you just kind of like them because you hope they get better. And the other side, we got number 7 76ers versus number 8 Magic. I like the Magic there. I like Paolo Banchero a lot. Again, I don't know if Joel Embiid is going to play because I saw he had that appendicitis, so prayers up to bro. Hopefully you're all right. But I like the Magic. I like what they're doing. They got Franz Wagner. They got Paolo Banchero. They got Wendell Carter Jr. They got a bunch of dudes out there. And Magic always kind of seem to be hovering in like that. They're either like a 4 or 5 seed or like the 8 or 9 seed. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they can't get it figured out. They got a really good team around them. Of course, like I said, Paolo Banchero is really good. Maybe it's coaching. Maybe it's they just missing up a couple pieces. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So if it works out how it should, I think the Pistons will be playing we'll say the Pistons play the Hornets and the Celtics will play the Magic. So 1 seed, of course, as much as I like the Hornets, I think the Pistons go in there and win that series. Again, it's going to come down to Cade Cunningham, but Jalen Duren has been nothing but a baller this year. If you've never watched Jalen Duren play, he might be one of the most stacked, like, yoked dudes I've seen in the NBA in a long time. Kind of reminds me of Dwight Howard back in the day when he would just be standing, his shoulders were way bigger. I think it's going to be a really good series, though. I think the Hornets, honestly, could push the Pistons more than the Pistons, I think, believe they can. The Hornets are a really good team. They got 3 really good guards. They got 3 really good players, and we'll see. Pistons, again, it's going to come down to Cade Cunningham's health, but he should be healthy going in, and there's a reason they're the 1 seed. They've been good all year. Cade Cunningham, of course, Jalen Duren, like I said, and they got a lot of really good role players around there. They got Ausar Thompson, I think, because I think Amen's on the Rockets. I could be getting them flipped, but both the Thompson brothers really good 3-and-D guys, and just hustle their hearts out. So love to see that. And then number 2, Celtics versus the Magic. This is more, I think, the Celtics series. Celtics have that championship pedigree. They've been doing this for years. They just got Jason Tatum back. Jaylen Brown having an MVP type year. Another possible candidate that probably should be MVP over Shai, no matter what you say. And of course, a Colorado GOAT, stand-up UCCS. For those real balling hours, Derek White went to UCCS, which is D2 school in Colorado Springs. Played there before he went to CU. I remember watching him against Metro State. I think it was my freshman year of college, and he was a junior, I want to say, at UCCS. No idea who this guy was. But remember going to the game, and there was some dude, and he was just hooping back and forth. Had like 50 points. Like, just couldn't miss. Best player on the court. Best player I've ever seen in person. Come to find out it was Derek White. Now you understand what he's doing in the NBA. He's cooking, and just a really good player for them. Celtics, of course, really well coached by Joe Mazzulla. Always been a good team. They got Vucevic out there, good role player for them, good veteran. And Tatum's getting healthy. So I don't really think this is a competition, unfortunately. And yeah. Next, we got number 3 Knicks versus number 6 Hawks. It's going to be a really good series. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. It's going to be a 7-game series. Man, I'm nervous. I could go with the Hawks in the series. They've only gotten better since Trae Young left. Don't know how that happens. Maybe it's because more people are touching the ball, and it's fun when you get to touch the ball and play basketball and not just stand in the corner and be like, oh, I'm open. No. It's nice getting the ball. So the Hawks, of course, with Jalen Johnson. He's been hooping this year. Came out of Duke. He's been hooping the last couple of years, but never really got the flowers because he was overshadowed by Trae Young, which is fine. But I think the Hawks have a really good opportunity in this series to make some noise and probably pull out an upset if they play their best, because the Knicks are good, but you never know. They're the New York Knicks. Just like you never know with some of these teams in the NFL, the Cowboys, teams like that, sometimes these big teams they choke or quote-unquote outplayed. And I think the Hawks are a really good team. The Knicks, with Mike Brown, should win. I mean, Jalen Brunson, of course, is great. Karl-Anthony Towns has been playing nothing but respect. He's getting on his rebound grind this year, so got to give him his respect. But I'm gonna stay with the Hawks pick. Just go out on a limb here because I don't want to go favorites in every series. That's kind of like whatever. Oh, I'm just gonna go favorite in every series. Nah. So we're gonna go with the Hawks in the series. No, we're not, because I'm looking at the other ones. We're gonna go with the Knicks. I like the Knicks. I like what Jalen Brunson's been doing. I like what Cat, and I like Mike Brown. I think he brought that new 21st century offense to the Knicks that they needed. Of course, Tom Thibodeau being there last year, more of a defensive-minded team, but kind of an old-school way of coaching, which still works. It might have not worked for the Knicks, but they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, no matter what you want to say. So, got to give them flowers there. Next matchup, we got the Cavaliers versus the Raptors. I like the Cavs. Again, 4-5, could go either way, but they got James Harden. They got Darius Garland. They got Jared Allen. They got Evan Mobley. They should just be the better team and be able to outhandle the Raptors. Haven't watched much of the Raptors this year, so can't give too much analysis on them. But I think the Raptors have always been a good team. After they rebuilt for the 2019 championship, they're back to where they need to be, and they got quickly around there. They got R.J. Barrett. They got Grady Dick. They got a bunch of dudes out there that play together, and that's what I think the biggest thing is. They play together as a team, and I know that's a crazy concept that team basketball wins, but look at the Nuggets, look at the Celtics, look at all the teams that are top in both conferences, the team basketball. So as much as it went away from it in the last 5-10 years ago, it's coming back to team basketball. I think it's an awesome thing to see. And then on the other end of it, we're going to have Thunder versus either Suns or Trailblazers or the Clippers. So we'll say the Thunder play the Clippers and the Spurs are going to play the Suns. Thunder versus whoever they play, I think is a done deal. As much as I'm not a huge Thunder guy, they're a really well-coached team. They're a really good team. They play together. They love playing with each other, which means they're going to win games. I think the Thunder, if it's not a sweep, it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. Spurs as well, gentleman's sweep against whoever they play. Wemby's been hooping out this year. Of course, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle. They still got Keldon Johnson out there. They got De'Aaron Fox, who I think it's lost in the rotation of such a bunch of good players. So Spurs, it's going to be a pretty easy matchup for them. Then we got my team, and the team I think is going to win it all, the Denver Nuggets. Because as I said, and let me preface this, if Jokic wins MVP and he gets it fair and square, I don't know he'll be as motivated. I know he will be as motivated because he's tired of getting disrespected, but just getting spited will motivate him even more. So if he gets spited the MVP, they're going to win the NBA Finals. And that's everyone staying healthy. But as I said, Thunder series wash, Spurs series wash. And we're going to get deeper into it when I actually see the matchups. Just kind of running this down right now to keep the video going. Nuggets, T-Wolves, number 3 versus number 6 seed. Timberwolves always kind of have the Nuggets number. They literally have built a team to only beat the Nuggets, and they can't beat the Spurs or Thunder, which is so dumb. The Timberwolves are like, no, we're just going to build a team to beat Jokic, and then we're going to lose to everyone else because we only want to beat them. It's like, okay, well, but the Timberwolves, they have a chance always. Anthony Edwards is MJ's kid, some say. He's got the athleticism, he's got the talent, and he's got the determination and the drive to make it happen. So I think he could, of course, swing the series. Of course, Rudy Gobert is always a tough matchup for Jokic. He's not. He's lunch meat. But they can throw a lot of bodies at him and throw size at him and kind of get in him and foul him a little bit, so that helps. But Nuggets shouldn't have it. I think it ends in 5, 6 at the most. Jokic is determined. Of course, Aaron Gordon is determined. Jamal Murray is determined. The rest of the team of the Nuggets, I think, is just tired of being disrespected. Every single year, they're a top 3 seed in the West. They always get overlooked. No one ever talks about them. They act like they're just some worthless team because Jokic is this or that. And I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it because they're a really good team. They've been a really great team. They have 1 ring. The Thunder have 1 ring. Everyone's like, oh, Thunder Dynasty, Thunder Dynasty. They got 1 ring. Spurs. They're even talking about the Spurs Dynasty. They have a ring. Nuggets have a ring. So say what you want about the Nuggets. They have a ring in the last 5 years. These other teams, except the Thunder do. Everyone else, I don't want to hear about them yet. Now they win, prove me wrong. But yeah, next series we got is Lakers Rockets, 4 versus 5. I think it's gonna be a really good series. Unfortunately, Lakers are without Luka but Luka's returning from Spain. I saw, so hopefully he plays. I think he's gonna play most of the series. Austin Reeves as well. If the Lakers are healthy, the Lakers win the series. If they're not healthy, the Rockets win the series. I think it's as simple as that. The Rockets have an opportunity even with the Lakers being fully healthy, of course, because they got length, they got size, they got Kevin Durant, and they play really hard defense. The only problem that you run into with the Rockets is they have no true point guard. And in the playoffs, when things get tighter and you're not running his gun as much and foul calls are much tighter, it's tough playing without a point guard. So We'll see what happens. The Rockets, again, though, have a lot of length, had a lot of size that give a lot of teams trouble. And I think it could give the Lakers a lot of trouble if they don't prepare the right way or if all their players aren't healthy. So we'll kind of see what happens with that, and we'll go from there. And every morning, spend the morning with Dill. We'll keep talking about it as the playoffs break down. But as I said earlier, the Nuggets are my pick to win the national championship, the NBA Finals. I'm going to pick them up to go up against the Boston Celtics in the East because I think the Celtics are that best team that consistently in the East. The Pistons have an opportunity, but Celtics just have the pedigree. I think the Pistons are 1 or 2 years away. I think they need to get a little bit more playoff experience. But they could prove me wrong and just run the table like the Thunder did. So we'll see. I love the Denver Nuggets winning the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics in 6 games. We're about 25 minutes in here, so let's get talking about the Denver Pioneers hockey team. For those of you who don't know, the Frozen Four in hockey is kind of like March Madness for basketball. Just doesn't get televised much because hockey's unfortunately not as big of a sport right now as basketball, which is fine. But the Denver Pioneers from my hometown won the national championship. So shout out Pios. That's 11 national championships for DU. That's the most in Division I. So a small school in Colorado is the best hockey school in the nation. That just proves what you can do if you put the right assets and you put the right focus into things, not just in sports but in life. And remember that. Just want to give them a shout out. The goalie, oh man, I got to look up the goalie's name for DU. The goalie was hooping. Goalie for DU, for Denver University. I got to give him his shout out. Johnny Hicks, right there. Johnny Hicks. He was a freshman, undersized goalie, but played with the heart of a lion. He played so hard. He played amazing. He kind of won in both games. He had, I want to say, like 47 saves in the semifinal, and then they also got outshot by about 20 shots in the national championship, and he carried them to victory. So shout out all the other dudes on DU, but of course, goalie, a lot of pressure on you because you're kind of the sole reason you win or lose sometimes. And Johnny Hicks was undrafted, played for Victoria in Canada last year, came out undrafted, and just that's what happens when people doubt you. You prove them wrong. And Johnny Hicks, brother, shout out to you, national champion now, and made it happen. One more thing, 2 more things. We got to talk about the Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel situation on here. Just want to get a quick overview of it. Either way, whatever you think of it, it's wrong for both parties. Cheating should never be condoned in any sense of the imagination. It's disrespectful to your person. I think it's one of the worst things you can do to somebody. That's all I'll say. Of course, Diana Rossini already was taken stepped down by New York Times, which I think is completely fair. She might have to be fired for that. I think it's disrespectful that there's people waiting their whole life to get opportunities to talk about sports or be on sports, and this is what she does, and she gets a pass on it. And same for Mike Vrabel. It's not going to be as much downfall for him because he's an NFL coach and he's kind of shielded in that way, and it's the Patriots, so that would see how it is. But whatever you think of the situation, all I'm going to say is cheating is never acceptable in any sense of the imagination. Both of them will have to live with that, and it's their cross to bear. And I just think, that's the way it goes sometimes. But let's not give these people a pass and stop talking about it because, all these people on ESPN are like, nope, I'm not going to talk about my friend like that. I'm not going to say anything. So you're saying if your friend does something horrible, you're not going to step out and say something. You're just going to sit behind the sideline and do it. And that's fine, man, and that's fine, but that's what ESPN's become, and that's how it is. So, hey, I hope ESPN changes their tone on that because it's something that should be talked about and something that should not be just scraped over. So, without that, let's get to the NFL draft. A few things, quick notes. Jeremiah Love, I think, is going to be a top 10 pick. He should be a top 10 pick. He's the best player in the draft. Fernando Mendoza scares me as a first overall pick. I think Kirk Cousins coming in there to to Las Vegas and being that veteran quarterback is kind of the perfect fit because they're kind of the same perfect person. I hope they both come in there. You like that? You like that? Because that'd be awesome. So I think it's a really good opportunity for both teams to get, I think it's a better opportunity for the Raiders, but I've always been sold on Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is going to be the best quarterback from this draft. that's being talked about in the higher sense. I don't know about lower draft picks. There's always that sleeper that could come out and surprise everyone. But Ty Simpson just played higher level competition for a while. Fernando Mendoza had a lot of help at Indiana. I think he's going to be a great quarterback with the right system around him. Clint Kubiak getting in there's an awesome idea. Maybe get a couple receivers, and of course they got Kirk Cousins to be the mentor. So his drafts, it's going to be a lot of parity in this draft. There's a lot of opportunity for teams to get better, but also a lot of kind of what if. I think the receivers are really good. Of course you got Carnell Tate, you got Jeremiah Smith, a couple of receivers coming out that are going to be really good. But it's a toss-up this year. I don't really think there's a set number one pick. I know Fernando Mendoza is going to go, but I'm saying I don't know if he should be. He should be because he's a quarterback. But there's been years that I think there's better opportunities for quarterbacks there. So we'll see what happens there. I think it's an awesome. Again, it's always awesome seeing people be able to live out their dreams and make it, live that dream. Just like you saw Rory crying when he won the Masters last year. It's awesome to see these kids being with their families, getting drafted to something that they dreamed out since they were young. So with that being soon, I just want to say, shout out to all the kids that are going to be able to live their dream and go out there and chase it. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it, because you can do anything you want in this life. So that was the That's Beautiful podcast. As always, want to get on here and just give a couple bit of wisdom at the end like I always do. And that is, as I said before, don't let anyone tell you can't do anything. Always believe in yourself, always be you, and always grind for things, because people, they might see your energy and they might see how happy you are and driven you are toward your things and be like, well, that's dumb or that's stupid. But no, man, because if you believe in here and you got God in your life, you can achieve anything in this world that you truly set your mind to and put the work into. Of course, you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to do this and not do any work for it and just hope it comes at it. But you can. Don't ever forget who you are. Don't ever forget the little kid in you that had all those dreams, that wanted to do something and make something happen, because that little kid's still in there and you can do anything you want. And this is why, I started Dynasty, the Dynasty Productions. We're just encompassing everything. We're not just a clothing brand. We're the biggest brand in the world. We're more than just clothing. We're health. We're media. As I said, we're sports media. We're everything. And hopefully next NFL season we get to the point of where we're having people broadcast each game and talk about each game and do that. And that's what I'm trying to grow this brand to, and this pod and everything. So if you or any of your friends would love to join the team, send email to the link in bio, and I'll also tag it in the comments below. I appreciate everyone joining along and supporting me. This was Spend the Morning with Dill. Got my morning cup of coffee, got my morning in, ready to take over the world, ready to always talk about this, because everything in life is beautiful, man. If you just make it, life is beautiful, and That's Beautiful podcast. Today, every day, and always, God bless, and build your dynasty. Thanks, guys.